Good
Right.
morning.
Hello, everybody. Goodness me, it's been a while since we've been live on our page. Welcome to 2022. I feel like
Oh
I've been living in like the twilight zone this year.
my God. I can't believe it's February and I feel like I'm just waking up. It's like the 7th of February and I feel like it's just the year's beginning.
Well, it's not even just February, like it's a whole week into
I don't even
February.
know what to, like, honestly, it's been the weirdest start to the year ever. We're
Oh, it
here.
has been. We are. So welcome to our first Facebook Live for 2022. If you're here, let us know. Comment in the comment section so we know that you're there. Also, at the top of this post, there's a little link that says streamyard.com something. If you can click on that, it allows us to see your name. So if you don't click on that, you'll need to pop your name in the comments. Otherwise, we won't know who's commenting because we can't see the name unless you click that little link. So today we wanted to pop on and talk about like everything back to school because, I mean, this has been a huge theme in our group like for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But it's so variable. And I was having a chat with Steph the other day about how our back to school. Hey, Christy.
Hey, lovely.
Hi. So yeah, I was talking to Steph the other day about how our back to the school this year was actually really great.
Mm.
And like Imi actually put on her uniform and like skipped out the door and got in the bus and like was just amazing. And there was kind of this little part of me that felt a bit guilty. And I'm
Mm.
like, it felt weird. Like, I was like, why am I feeling guilty? Like, we've worked really hard. We've had lots of years with all the crap.
Mm.
But this year, because I know that so many other families are doing it really tough, I kind of felt guilty for having it a bit
Interesting.
easy this
Yeah.
year. Like, I thought it was really, yeah, really
You've
interesting.
worked so hard to get to that point, like all of the visuals and all of the planning, and you've built this really beautiful like existence for her to have like her transport with people that she knows and her amazing school and like which I know you're so grateful for, but like that all helps, because
Oh,
it's
it certainly does. But I feel like all the years of therapy, like I've just said this on a post today actually, that all the years of therapy, when you're in them, you think, are these actually doing anything? But then like you get to these stages and like I realize how much I've learned, but also how much Emmy's learned and like how her skills have,
mm.
evolved. So she feels better equipped to cope. So yeah, it was just interesting. But you've had an interesting start to the year. Why don't you fill everybody in what's happened to you?
Well,
Hey,
last week
Trude.
we were hey
Sorry.
Trude. Last week we were very excited to go back to school. Everything was organized. Like I've even kind of organized some new help to help me like during the week, and it was all kind of happening. And we tested positive, so it was like, oh, okay. So we were here for
Not
the
for pregnancy,
oh, but
for
no,
COVID, for the Rona.
oh God, that would be the next thing that happens. Knock on wood. I need wood. Um, nope. um,
Stop and shut.
no, baby. So yeah, so we tested positive. So we were all here for the past week, and as anyone knows who's been in COVID lockdown, it is just extremely intense. Like the girls love each other, but there was like a lot of bickering, like all the stuff. Anyway, today was our first day back, and we were super excited. Like I've jumped onto this call feeling like a new woman. But I said to Sandy, there's a part of me that feels like it didn't feel like I thought it would feel. Like there's an element of like I need the peace, I'm craving the quiet, yet I miss them. Oh, what is that? Like I miss and I worry about
Yeah,
them, and I realize that
yeah.
all of a sudden they're out in the world, and then there's the whole extra layer of disability with that. So who will Charlie's teacher be this year? Is she gonna? Are we gonna be
Mm.
supported like we have been up to this point? We've been really lucky and really grateful for the support we've had. But is that going to happen? And they went into school today crying, holding hands, walking up because they were so scared of like the new school year. So it kind of jolted me back a little bit. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah, yeah,
we're back. We're back
yes,
into
yeah. Hey, Emma. Hey, Joanna. Hi, Heather. Oh,
hi.
Heather's dropped an extremely anxious child at school today. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this concept too because it was actually the top of my list. Anxiety.
Yeah.
Um, because it's not like whilst it's the kiddos, like with them having to go back with new teachers and new classrooms and, all that sort of stuff, and transitioning from school holidays where they've been doing like all the stuff they want to do. But for us as parents, there's also like that level of
like
being anxious.
Yeah. I walked in and felt like I was like, oh, the house is empty. And then I felt a physical pang of like I felt sick because I was like, oh my God, like they're not here. Oh my God, okay, it's starting. And as they get bigger too, I'm like, they're not babies. So I know there's a bigger expectation put on them. Like, and I just
to be really honest with you, like I don't feel that with Imogen, only because her school is just like heaven.
Totally.
Like yes. I've been texting them. We're in ISO at the moment as well, just so everybody knows. So a few days after Steph, then our son tested positive, so we've been in ISO too. And Emmy's had to stay home, and they've been checking on me, sending social stories and worksheets and stuff that they know Emmy likes. So I kind of am not worried about her, but I am worried about Cooper because he did a day of high school and then has been home, hasn't got his timetable, like it's a brand new school, year 7. Like, so I kind of feel like I want to know what he's got on, like when he goes back, so I can make sure he has all the right books so he doesn't start off on the wrong foot. And like I try and set him up for success like I do with Emmy all the time. So I feel like that about him. So I understand what you mean.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like I know that when I pick them up today, I'm sure they'll be fine. And when they find a familiar face there, they'll be fine. But there were even things like, where do I put, like Charlie's like, where do I put my bag when I go in? Where do I take it to my old classroom? I'm like, no, just keep it on your back and a teacher will tell you where to go. And I told her that like 5,000 times. I showed her, had made a visual, and she was just like, but she was picking her fingers. I was reading all of her like traits, and it wasn't downy, which is interesting because I think Heather made a similar.
Oh yeah, she just said Ari was crying a bit, not meltdown crying, but crying.
Yes, it wasn't that I had to drag her in, but like I could see those signs, and I'm just like, oh God, babe, like be brave. I have to I hope that she'll find her feet, and I'm sure they both.
Yeah.
She's got a toes crossed. And like you said, it's hard because you've got a kid who is different, but attending a mainstream school, trying to fit the norm, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a whole set of challenges as she gets bigger that comes with that. And I think she's becoming more aware of it too, which is very interesting to see her navigate the personal journey she will have to navigate. I can't do that.
Yeah. I know it's hard to like let them do that themselves.
It's so hard. I just want to like run in and like run away with her and be like, you're safe with me, but it's not healthy for her, She needs
it's also not healthy for you. You need some downtime, Mama. You've had 7 days straight locked in the house.
I know. I think I'm a bit traumatized.
It's all good. Joanna said her daughter's been messaging since 8:30 that she wants to come home. It is so tricky. It's so hard because you just want to go and sweep them up and keep them safe. But I suppose growth comes through challenges, and there's like this degree of trying to make them like look after their mental health and make sure that they're not over anxious, but then there's this part where they kind of need the challenge to grow and develop the skills. So like it's a very fine line. Let's have a look at the comments. Shana's kids have started a new school, now in year 3. Bit of a rocky start with bullying in the first week on Friday. Oh, that's not good.
Awful.
Oh, good. Okay, so someone's going to deal with it. Excellent. Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully you've got a really proactive teacher that can nip it in the bud. Kids can just be like awful sometimes, can't they?
Like I was dropping my girls at Ush sometimes during the school holidays, and I just like overhear their conversations with like they go up to people and like be like, can we play? And kids are like, and I'm like, God, I can't. I feel like just running in and being
a minefield.
Yeah, but you can't. But in saying that, one thing I've learned is that kids whilst our kids can be sensitive, like I know Charlie perhaps doesn't bounce back as quick as Emmy might. they also kind of like are able, they've got a level of resilience to move on and try new things. And so as long as they feel supported, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to, Christy, you might not be able to see anyone else's comments because you might be watching it in a different place. Is this being streamed in 2 different places, Steph?
It's being streamed in a few different places, yeah.
Okay, so you might not be able to see the comments because it might be coming up from the other place. But we can see all of them together. So we don't know where they're coming from. So it might be in the group or on the page or.
It should usually tell me. I think they're all coming from the Facebook.
They're all coming from Facebook, yeah.
But whether it's the group or the main page, I'm not.
Yeah. So I think looking for those little signs, Heather, like Erica biting her nails, like I noticed with Imi, our big thing is if she gets too excited about something, she can't tell the difference between anxiety and excitement. So we often end up with these really big explosive things, and we're really trying to get her to like verbalize that now. Oh, do you feel scared? Or do you, and we've got like a thing from the behavioral therapist on the cupboard where she can rate her emotions. Like, like there's a little visual for her, but it is hard. She can clearly articulate angry, happy, and sad, but I feel like excitement and anxiety are very complex emotions and they're hard to describe. So it's harder for her to like then identify that that's how she's feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Trude, Coop had a bad day today, but last week was great. That's good. Hopefully this week, looks up. It's only Monday.
Yeah.
Heather says that other preschool mums make these nice gestures like, oh, all kids find it hard, but they don't get it. Yeah, it's very true.
I just feel like it's those same sets of challenges, right? Like, because they are right, like in a sense, but then there's like an extra layer on top of that only people within the community will understand. And it's hard to actually put into words. We get it. Yeah.
Oh, Tasha's on from Vegas. Hey, it's been a while since I made it. I hope you're all doing well. Currently, it's mid-school year for us, and we're still doing virtual school. Oh, no. That being said, I'm already anxious thinking about next year because I want Lily to be back to regular school so badly. I just know all the anxiety and stress will come back when we do cross that bridge again. Yeah, and I think for us, too, a lot of it comes from, this is one of the other things on my list, is about, like, having to advocate constantly. Like, I know there's been a few posts in our group around, like, one of our members went to school the other day to drop off some spare clothes and walked into the classroom where there was a casual teacher, which is going to happen with Rona and all the other things that we've got going on, right? But her special chair that she needs wasn't there. Her laptop that they had bought wasn't there. She can't hold a pencil and there's a pencil pot in front of her on her desk. Like, these are really simple things that, like, she walked in and she's like, really? Like, that's the basic things she needs to learn and they're not being done. And it's exhausting to have to continually do that. And I think as parents, we know when the school year starts, often it's like teaching the teacher all the things about your child again.
Yeah, I feel like, and for us, we've had this, I don't know if you guys know, but we had the most fabulous kindy teacher for her. Like, she was just, she's actually an autism mum herself. And so she really understood like the little sensory needs that would happen and giving her sensory breaks and just being able to kind of like accommodate to those bits and pieces. And because of that, Charlie had a really fantastic year socially, like with her, like learning, like they met her where she was at in every opportunity. And it should be like that across the board, no matter what year you're in. Like that, but it's not. And she's made a big book and like a digital thing of like what she needs, like all of her resources to give to the new teacher. But I feel like I have a big like suit of armor ready to go.
I actually had that visual of you before when you were talking about the kids outside the school, of you with like a big shield.
Like a shield, I'm ready. Like, I'm sure it'll be fine. I want to play nice, but I feel like I'm ready if we need to go.
Oh, Joanna's had to go. The school's called and she has to go pick up her year 7 child who has stomach cramps, which she suspects will be her anxiety. Oh, Joanna. Big hugs, beautiful. Someone just jumped on and said hello and advocating for 2 now. It's exhausting, but we only see Facebook user. You just sort of click the StreamYard link at the top of the, like, this actual post, and it will let us see your name. Yeah, different types of anxieties, Heather. Totally. And then for the kids, I suppose for me, I've learned over the last few years, the more information Emmy has, the better. So like I get really put my teacher pants on and make all the visuals, and we start talking about it, and Emmy's got a visual calendar so she knows which day things are happening. I constantly, like in the holidays, am messaging school going, oh, just wanted to check if Emmy got the same driver that I requested from last year to try and set her up, because I know that he's so great. Even the teachers say he's so great. So you know, I'm but thinking 10 steps ahead, it's exhausting to try and do that, but we have to, in order to, I think the more information for Emmy, the better. So I wonder, like, if people on here can start thinking about like what would help in that lead up to try and minimize those feelings, right? Like what are some strategies that you can put in place?
Yeah, from a mainstream perspective, like maybe this is something that I could push for this year, like as she goes into years, like just to be like, right, is there some way that I can get some clarity on that class in advance? Like, because surely there would be an option to do that, because I know if you guys have got kids in mainstream classrooms, they keep them in like a holding pattern, or they do at our school anyway. They keep them in a holding pattern for like a week. Like sounds like
in the last year's class, is it?
Yes. I feel like we're talking about farm animals when they call holding pattern. But they keep them, they call it a holding pattern for a week. So in their previous class, so they have a week with their friends from the last year, which in a way is kind of nice. And then today is the day they distribute them into their relevant classes, because they've had like 30 enrollments over the summer. So, so that's how they slotted in. But
at least they're there today to get split like with everybody else.
That's what I thought. I was like, please don't. I was actually really grateful that we were there, because my worst nightmare was, I mean, it wasn't ideal she wasn't there last week to be with her friends, but I just had this thought of the class already starting, everyone getting used to the teacher, and then Charlie coming in halfway through and being really upset and not having a clue what's going on. Like, that's, but they wouldn't give me that information when I asked for it last year. They didn't, they were like, we don't know yet. We don't know. Like,
see, that's hard, because I get Emmy's class the last day of school. They send me an email with 2022 class name, who the teacher is, who the support staff are, who the therapists are in there. So, I mean, they are an exceptional example, but why can that not be? I feel like if they're a bit more organized,
I pushed for it either. Like I just kind of went, oh, like, could we do this? Oh, don't worry about it. But I think feeling this today, it would be helpful for me, for her, for us.
Even if she just knew the teacher and the class name, like she doesn't need to know all the other kids that are in there, but just those two things might be enough to really help. And I even got a photo of Emmy's classroom, so she knew what it looked like before she went in there. So I think there's things like that the education system, like across the board, if they had some sort of policy like that, would be good. So there's a few comments in here. Hey Judy, thank you. So Ashley says her son started in the support classroom. He's hypersensitive to noise and touch. ASD3 and intellectual delay. 5 other children in supported classroom have high behaviours, meltdowns, and screaming. They say he may be better in mainstream, so no behaviours. Yeah, I think Amanda, one of our mums, her son actually is similar. Like he doesn't like screaming, so, and he's just started in support as well. It seems there's no room for my little man who's so timid and quiet. When they were yelling the morning, he froze and blocked his ears, unaware of surroundings. Will he wear noise cancelling earphones? These are actually amazing. Richie comes to try and talk to me when I want to call, and I cannot hear him. Like in the background, he's like, and he gets angry, and then I turn around and he's like doing these ones, and I'm like, I can't hear you. They're noise cancelling. Like they're actually amazing.
I need to go get mine. Actually,
they're really good.
100%.
Hopefully, Ashley, he starts adjusting. Like sometimes it's almost like a desensitization thing too. Like if that becomes the new normal, hopefully, and if you can put some tools in place to help, that would help. Tasha says, that's so true, having to teach the teachers every year. Yeah, Imi's got her same teacher from last year. So it's awesome.
It's such a good school. Like, I'm just like, oh my God.
Most years they do that, I've found. Like, it's the same teacher. I think there's only been 1 or 2 times, but I used to get really anxious about it, like you guys, like thinking, oh God, I hope the teacher's good, because every year they're so awesome. And then I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? Whoever she has is going to be awesome. Like, we've never had someone bad there. So
yes, yeah.
So Tasha says she constantly finds herself apologizing for the small accommodations made for Lily, and I don't want to do that anymore. Instead, I will say thank you for being patient or understanding. I love that. Yes, yes. We shouldn't have to apologize for our kids needing certain things.
No.
All kids need certain things.
I think that's a really empowering standpoint to come from, when you can make that option and that switch, and you're still expressing gratitude, like you're still expressing that, but it's just in a different way, you know. Love it.
I love that reframe, Tasha. Christy, I have to be like that in my own life now. I think she means being organized. Yeah, always forward thinking, having a plan, a backup plan, and a backup. Yep, I hear you, sister. It's actually quite a good skill set to have when we can do that.
Yeah,
I know it's like it's hard to turn your brain off, but it's a really good skill set. Judy made a flyer all about me for her year 8 daughter, so her new teachers had a few printouts. The SLSOs are settling year 7 at the moment, so anyone else was left high and dry. I was not impressed.
Judy,
that's not good, but that's a great idea with the all about me. Awesome. Like Amy has a similar to that. It's a multi-page document because she's quite complex, but it has in it like this is what I look like when I'm upset. These are my triggers. These are the things you can do when I'm like dysregulated. So I think it's almost like a cheat sheet, which is like super cool. Yeah. Kylie says, oh my God, that's it, having to think ahead about so many things that most parents don't need to think about. It's exhausting. It really is. This is why I meditate.
Yeah, well, that's like, without sounding like waffling on about it, that's why we talk about self-care so much. So whatever that means to you, because I mean, with all the other stuff, we physically and mentally and emotionally, it's not like it's a requirement for our health, like to keep, you know, flowing on and being like good parents and being able to function. Otherwise we just crumble.
And you know what? I want to make this really clear, that these things aren't because of our children. These things are because of the system that doesn't fit our children. So It's not like our kids cause these issues. It's the system that won't adapt to our kids. So I just want to be really clear about that, because sometimes I think people get confused and think mums are complaining about having to do things, but it's not that. It's like having to advocate because there's no inclusive practice there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think Heather's giving some advice to Ashley, so about considering mainstream. Outcomes can be better if no behaviours, if they can get support for him. We're doing support in mainstream, but her delays are borderline mild, so not eligible for a support unit now. But she has a syndrome, so very unique. And the thing is, if you can get the support in a mainstream class and that's suitable, awesome, because that's way more inclusive than being separated into a support class.
Yeah, that's what we've got currently happening now with Charlie, and it's really, really great. Mrs. Abbott is just like, she's awesome, like so good, and I just want her to have that forever. You know, I want all kids to be able to have that. I just want to keep it.
It's teachers like that though that we need to like get the good big jobs in the Department of Education, because like best practice and like change it from the top. Kylie says trying to preempt every possible thing that could possibly go wrong and planning for it. Well, I always have an escape plan when we go out, like just in general.
It's good, you got it.
But Heather says, yes, maybe we need to focus on the things that can go right too, or we'll lose our nanas. It's true. Like, it's all about setting up for success, I think, and then having a plan just in case.
And that's also probably why resilience comes up as well so much for us, because when all of these plans, A, B, C, D, E, plans fail, because sometimes they will, like sometimes it's just not destined to go well. And then it's, I suppose, about being like, right, picking up the pieces, like, you know, keeping perspective and being able to keep moving forward out of that, you know, difficult space. So it all kind of intertwines, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa. Hey, Amanda. The flyer, Judy says the flyer was after the science teacher sat with her, or sat her with all the boisterous boys up the front, and she was beside herself, surrounded by the annoying kids. The teachers really appreciated the flyer. Made at 11 p.m. that night. Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Love it.
It'll make a big difference. See you, Heather. Thanks for jumping on.
Bye.
Oh, we're excited about what we've got planned in March too.
Woo!
Oh man, it's killing me to keep a secret. I'm like, don't tell me secrets because I'm not very good at keeping them. But this one we have to keep.
Neither am I. I feel like I won't talk because then I'll say something. But it's exciting. It's going to be great.
I should put a post-it on the top of my computer. Don't spill the beans. Not yet. March 28th.
And we've got quite a
diary.
March 28th. Like, we've got a while.
I know. It's all right. Amanda said, Indy School sent me a form to fill out about her strengths and behaviour issues and ways to help her and some goals for this year. Also, all the information about her therapist and doctors. It was good. Awesome. I'd love to see that, actually. Make sure you send me it. You can email me, Amanda. No, all good, Judy. I assumed that you didn't mean pointers. My phone's been auto-correcting a lot lately. Like, does anyone really say ducking? I'm not sure anyone says ducking. I've been a little bit angry this week.
You?
A bit frustrated in a nice way. So I don't. If anyone gets a message from me and it says ducking, that's not what I meant. I meant a different word that I can't say because it's 9 o'clock in the morning. No, 10 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Amy. Oh, sorry. And then the last thing to add in with school, rat tests. Well, it's not a rat test, is it? Because that would be a rapid antigen test.
It's a RA test. Rat, whatever.
Yeah, a rat.
We Dave gets tested every day at his work, which has been like a nice little like kind of benchmark for our family. Charlie flat out refuses. She started screaming, and then I was like, there's no way I'm going to give her like trauma over this experience. It's just not okay. If she's well and she's like, you know, if she's sick, we'll keep her home. But I'm not doing it to her. So
I think after this week we've decided similarly, and I feel like the media make parents feel like it's mandatory.
I know. It's so
like from everything I've read, and like if you've read different, correct me. But from everything I've read, it's highly recommended, but it's not actually mandatory. And if it's going to be traumatizing, then I think we pick our battles.
Like, there is no way that I'm pinning her down and sticking a thing.
No, that's not reasonable.
That's not reasonable, and it's not fair to her. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and I was the same, Sandy. I didn't realize. I thought it was like you have to submit it, like as a requirement to go to school. And the school were like, no, like it's recommended. I was like, what? Like, why are us? We just need to move forward.
And it's so variable. Like, you know what though? I think it's really like a personal choice. Let's like advocate for everyone to be able to choose what they want, because I think that's really important in this situation. But like, yeah, like it's so variable. Some kids, like I know, so Christy's just said Abby did surprisingly amazing until last night and then lost it. And then she said we're not doing them daily after that. So I can totally understand that. And then we've got other kids, like I know Amanda Jarvis said that she was so surprised that her kids did it, and they have like really big phobias around medical stuff. So I think too, like if you want to try it. And if it doesn't work, don't put the extra pressure on yourself with all of the back to school stuff and the advocacy and all the balls. Like that's not, I feel like, unless they're sick, I'm not sure that's an important ball. Personally. I know that it's a big topic, but I think we need to look at health in a holistic way as well. Like our kids' mental health and our mental health is actually really important.
Absolutely.
Megan they were lucky enough to get it all together. And she said, Steph, you don't have to test them until 28 days after they've had it.
Excellent. I will not be.
Yeah.
I guess my concern or my I don't know. I worry about obviously like the more vulnerable like kids that are trying to access
Of course.
the environment safely.
Of course. And I think if you can manage it, then do it. But if it's going to cause trauma to your child, I'm not sure that's what I'd like to think that's not what the New South Wales government had in mind.
Yes.
Like,
who knows, really?
Nothing surprises me anymore, though. Let's not get political. Let's just end it there. So Melissa's getting the kids to do it themselves, spin the sticks around. Awesome. Like, I think that's a really great way to empower them too. Amanda says, Indy, who refuses everything, loves doing it. I told her it was like picking her nose. Brooklyn, who has the medical phobia, has amazingly done pretty well, but I gave her control. She does it herself. She told me she'll do it once a week. Awesome. What a great way to negotiate with that. Like, very resourceful. I'm super proud of our mums, like getting their resourceful pants on with these.
Fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah, Judy, I'm not sure either. Anyway, let's finish that conversation there. I did want to talk about it because it's been a big difference to going back to school, but I'm hoping like soon they're just going to ditch them for school kids.
I think they said 4 weeks at this point, but who knows? It's also hard, like I suppose not being allowed in, like personally, I know every school has a different thing, but like I'm not allowed anywhere in the school grounds at all. Like no parents are, which is fine, but it's difficult. Like Charlie this morning was like, can you walk me in so I know where I'm going? And normally like I could do that, but then maybe on the other hand, I'm setting her up for a bit more independence by doing it this way from the beginning. So time will tell.
That's a good flip it.
Yep, that's how we have to look at it.
Yeah, Tanya would be proud of you for flipping it.
She would. Hopefully it's happy faces that pick up today. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I reckon it will be. They do love school. You too.
Hopefully. Yeah, they do. They love school. They love, being like.
Well, they love being with their friends, I think. So hopefully first day in a new class is usually fun.
I hope so.
I know, but there's the whole. I know.
It's a feeling
You'll be right.
in my stomach. It's right here. It's just like, oh, something's not right until I see them, and then we'll be okay. We'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us this morning. It's been an awesome chat about schools. I've just got a message from Cooper's school, actually, speaking of schools, telling me that he's absent. Thank you. He's been absent for the last week. Thank you for letting me know he's absent today. So keep 28th of March in your diaries. We're going to be doing a live like this. It's a big announcement. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
It'll be an online party, and that's it. That's all you have to know until then.
Be there. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.